Hello and welcome to the Savannah Hermitage. Today I'm going to guide us through the beginnings of a basic Zen sitting meditation integrated with the microcosmic orbit of Taoist internal alchemy qigong. First of all, we want to position ourselves in an ideal sitting meditation position. Please refer to my video on using different types of meditation equipment to facilitate a proper sitting meditation position. Basically, it entails using a meditation bench or a meditation cushion so that your hips are significantly higher than your knees, taking the pressure off your lower back and facilitating a straight spine and proper posture, which opens up the upper chakras, higher consciousness energy centers. So that is essential, being in a proper ideal sitting meditation position to start out with. Just by getting in this position, it puts me right in the zone and opens up my higher consciousness. So now we're in that zone, and the next step is quieting the mind. So instead of being wrapped up in your thoughts, take a step back from your thoughts and just observe your thoughts churning around the way they often do for us. Just observe the thoughts, watch them pass in front of you, and just look at them objectively rather than getting wrapped up in any emotion with them. From an objective perspective, just observe them come and go, and slow down and gradually calm the mind into a much more peaceful state. Another very important aspect is that when we get into this position, calming the mind, observing the thoughts, is to slow the breath way down. That helps slow the mind churn way down and gets us in that clear and focused, calm, Zen state. So we do that by taking deep breaths in and out. In and out. And then we can further slow down the breath by making it even deeper and slower. Pause after the in-breath, and then slowly let the air out of the out-breath. Pause and in-breath. And pause, out-breath. Typically, I just do it through the nose. There are other techniques utilizing different nose and mouth patterns, but we're not going to get into that today. Just breathe slowly in and out through the nose. Pause and out. And we can slow down the breath even more by utilizing what's called in yoga the Ujjayi breath. It is also called the ocean breath or the wind breath because it sounds like an ocean wave or the wind blowing through some trees. And what we do is we just constrict the back of the throat somewhat, and it makes that sound of the ocean or the wind in our windpipe when we do that. So it's like this. So keep that very slow, even, deep breath pattern going with Ujjayi breath, ocean breath, wind breath, or without if you just want to do it silently. And continuing to just observe any thoughts from that objective distance that happen to come floating through your brain. Just watch them go floating and then just let them go. Just watch them go past and then just let them go. Let them go. No emotional attachment whatsoever. And use this calm place to then allow us to blossom into higher levels of non-attachment, equanimity, and the pure awareness of higher consciousness. And now, in this meditation, we're going to add one more layer from our established foundation of calmness and insight and equanimity and pure awareness. And we're going to use our breath and visualization and our intent to move our life force energy from the lower chakras, represented by the lower part of our torso and the energies there. Move that raw life force energy, which is our consciousness, inward and upward, up the spine and into our centers of higher consciousness, represented by the forehead, the crown, this whole area of the higher consciousness centers of our brain, connected to our spinal cord throughout the rest of our body. So we are accustomed to expressing our lower emotions and also our sexual energy from a lower chakra, lower consciousness place, and expressing it outward and downward from that place. What we're doing by utilizing the microcosmic orbit here is we're doing the exact opposite. And we're literally rewiring our consciousness to instead conserve that energy, cultivate it, move it inward and upward, up the spine and into our higher centers of consciousness with the in-breath. And then with the out-breath, we just let it flow with gravity down the front of our bodies, through the throat and heart chakras, to the belly chakra here, and store it there. So that's the microcosmic orbit, with the in-breath starting at the sexual organs, moving through the pelvic floor and to the tailbone, up the spinal cord, with the in-breath filling the higher centers of the brain, our upper chakras, our higher consciousness, and then with the out-breath allowing it to flow down the front and storing it here. And so we visualize that like we're pulling it up our spinal cords, like we're sipping it up through a straw, like if you're sipping a drink through a straw. Just visualize the energy going up like that from your sexual organs, your sexual energy, your pelvic floor, where a lot of your lower emotional energy is supported and housed, and taking all that lower emotional energy and also that raw sexual energy, moving it up, and in that process transmuting it into higher consciousness. I've been doing this for the last 20 years, and I have completely rewired my consciousness this way, and literally it has helped me go from being a weak man, lacking direction in my life, lacking focus, lacking success in various aspects of my life, to gaining control of my energy and my consciousness, conserving it, cultivating it, moving into the higher consciousness, and enabling me to create success, prosperity, and greater empowerment and enlightenment throughout every aspect of my life, and most importantly, in becoming the most enlightened and empowered human being I can be, cultivating higher and higher levels of self-focus, self-discipline, and self-mastery. So here we go. Let's just do a couple breaths with that. And visualize, start at your sexual organs, visualize your sexual energy there, your emotional energy along your pelvic floor. Tune into it, and then with the in-breath, just sweep it right up and move it up your spine and fill the higher centers of your brain here. So that's what we're doing with the in-breath, like this. Pause, and then with the out-breath, allow it to just flow down the front. And visualize that. Visualize it flowing down the front, storing it here. And push your diaphragm the whole way in, so you're pushing your breath the whole way out. Locking that energy right in there. So let's do that again. And out breath. One more. And out breath. That feels so good. Let's do it again. And out breath. Now just keep that going. And let me explain one more layer. That's your core practice and your core meditation that we're doing today, that I'm explaining and facilitating today. However, let me add just one more layer you can add on. This is adding on the macrocosmic orbit to the microcosmic orbit. So we're still doing the microcosmic orbit, but in addition to that, with the in-breath, we're also going to draw energy from the earth up through our feet and hands and arms and legs and integrate it with the microcosmic orbit with the in-breath. And then with the out-breath, with the down sweep of the out-breath of the microcosmic orbit, we're also releasing the energy and keeping it going out through our arms and legs and down into the earth. This is a very grounding practice. So here we go. Bring it up. With the in-breath, pause, and then with the out-breath, out into the earth. Again, pull it up from deep in the earth. And out breath down into the earth. And just keep breathing and keep it going. Focus on the microcosmic orbit. If you want to add in the grounding aspect of the macrocosmic orbit, keep doing that. And you can play this back. Focus again on see where your thoughts are. Are you still letting your thoughts just float away and be in that calm mind, allowing for insight? And then focus back in on your deep breathing and moving your energy, your sexual energy and low emotional energy up. And down. We're going to end this video in a moment, but just stay in your sitting meditation position and keep doing that for 25 minutes. You can set the timer on your phone or other timer. I often do it for 25 minutes, and then sometimes if I'm doing an hour, take a 10-minute walking meditation, keep the whole thing going. The calm space, the quiet thoughts, the microcosmic orbit. Throughout your walk, come back in 10 minutes and sit for another 25 minutes for an hour meditation. you only have 10 or 15 minutes, then do it for 10 or 15 minutes. But better yet, what you can do in this meditation is set your focus and intent and tell yourself, I am programming my consciousness and my energy to have my microcosmic orbit open 24/7. And you set that intent, and you actually will be doing it. You might actually have to tune in throughout the day now and then, and just tune into it and see when you're doing it, but especially when you're in a place where your emotions are getting activated and are controlling you, or you're feeling too much lust, or your sexual energy's feeling too strong or out of control. This works like magic, because you're taking all that emotional energy and or sexual energy and transmuting it into higher consciousness. So this is not only what I'm doing sitting in meditation. This is how my consciousness is framed to interact with myself and the world and the universe 24/7. And it's absolutely transformational and transcendental. So, thank you for tuning in today, and have a magnificent day. Namaste.